Are you on weed? Give me some. I'll smoke you two under the table.
Well, my favorite of those are the sea salt caramel dark chocolate fudge packers.
Oh yeah, coming soon. Well, seeing that this week on Wednesday is going to be 420, Josh. I think I do this every year where we celebrate, and I wanted to ask you, how are you going to celebrate 420 this year, man?
Well, I got some wax foo and some edibles. Unfortunately, I got to go to that church class. So right after I feel a little bit better about myself.
Still going to that is amazing.
Hey, man, commitment, dog. I say I'm going to do it. I do it.
Jesus.
I may not like it. I may hate every moment of it, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, no shit. Well, you said so. You got wax. I got wax myself. I got some flour. I'm probably gonna finish the flour before Wednesday. But I also have some those little mini joints that those little selfie ones that you.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm thinking about popping on some Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay.
While dropping eating an edible.
Nice.
That'd be a nice way to cap off my night.
Yeah, it just sucks that it's a Wednesday. It's a school night. Fucking work.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's a school night, man. I still gotta drive in the next morning, so I can't get too fucked up.
I harken back to 2020 and how fucked up like this whole thing was, where the COVID thing happened, and 2020 was going to be the perfect year because all of February was going to be all of April was going to be 420. Cinco de Mayo was on a Taco Tuesday. I think 4th of July would have been on a weekend or something. Everything was just spaced out so perfectly, and it was going to be the party year. It was going to ring in the 20s, the roaring 20s of the new century. And then we just got fucked with, man.
And the universe said no.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true, Foo.
And the only thing we got going for us this year is that it's 2022.
Redo, Foo.
But it's on a Wednesday. This would have been on a Friday. It would have... I
know, Foo. It's okay though, Foo. We still got the weekend. We can do it. I still remember our heyday, man. Remember that one 420 when me and the Foo both won free shit from like the weed, like the weed shop, the church.
Yeah.
Remember I won the raffle and I got like that ounce. Dude. And then the Foo got like the ounce jar from that one place in like downtown that he used to go to.
Ridiculous. It was Denver, Colorado all over again.
Yeah, but this time at home.
Yeah,
but we were playing a home game.
Jeez. We smoked so much that day.
Yeah, that year, man. We were there was not a moment. Like, we kept telling each other we were going to go on tolerance breaks. Never fucking happened, dude.
I heard that all the time.
We're on tolerance break.
This is the week. I got to start saving money. I'm spending way too much money on weed. And then the next day, the Foo is just like, I just dropped $300.
Yeah. Let's fucking smoke, guys. Like, what the hell, bro?
I pulled this article off CNN because every year I explain what 420 is for those listeners who aren't into the culture, or they just have no idea what the fuck is going on around them. There's something in the air this year, at least on Wednesday. You may have noticed 420. It's known as Weed Day in some circles because the date corresponds with the numerical code for marijuana. Yes, it seems arbitrary. So how did the number 420 come to represent smoking pot? So before we get into that, we'll get the myths and rumors out the way. The first being the legend of the California Penal Code. Some claim that the number is drawn from the California criminal codes used to punish the use or distribution of marijuana. But the state's 420 code actually applies to obstructing entry on public land. So not quite the same thing. But the rumor sounds a lot like the legend of the police radio code, too. Neither LAPD or NYPD even have a code called 420. San Francisco police has one, but it's for a juvenile disturbance. So never mind that theory. And then the other one is the legend of the Dylan song. This one is a nod to Bob Dylan. The song is Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35. And it's a lyric. Everybody must get stoned. Multiply 12 by 35 and you get 420. Seems kind of like a stretch if you ask me. And Dylan even himself has never confirmed any link to it. So it doesn't really hold a whole lot of water. The other one is The Legend of the Waldos. This one's new to me. I've never heard this one before. According to Chris Conrad, curator of the Oaksterdam Cannabis Museum in Oakland, California, 420 started as a secret code amongst high schoolers in the early 1970s. A group of friends at San Rafael High School in Marin County, California, who called themselves the Waldos, would meet often at 4:20 p.m. to get high. For them, it was an ideal time. They were out of school, but their parents still weren't home, giving them a window of unsupervised freedom. They met at that time every day near a statue of Louis Pasteur, the scientist who pioneered pasteurization. Didn't know that either.
You didn't know that. That's common knowledge.
Pasteur? No, I don't.
And I believe it's pronounced Louis Pasteur.
All right. The 420 time became a code for them to use in front of their unsuspecting parents, and 420 gradually spread from there, possibly via Grateful Dead followers across California and beyond. It's even the number of a California Senate bill that established the state's medical marijuana program. It was shorthand for a group of friends who can now be seen on T-shirts and throughout pop culture. And then, of course, it's on the calendar every April. So that's the one that seems to hold the most water. I believe that's something that we might have touched on last year. I can't remember. I was probably high. But
good odds, Foo.
I think that's the one that makes the most sense. I guess I belong to this circle of friends, but not really. But a good friend of mine, I've known him for many years. His name's Richie. He married this lady, Sarah. Richie played drums for the Fallen Electric back in the day. But anyway, I've known him for half my life, if not more. But that his particular circle of friends referred to smoking a bowl as MBT. And they did that to try to throw off their parents because their parents were wise to the 420. MBT stands for simply more bowl time. And so nobody calls it that. So if you hear them say MBT amongst them, you know what they're talking about. At least I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about until I asked them, what the fuck is MBT? No, it's just more bowl time. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. So if you ever make friends with this very small group of people and enter the circle, they will tell you the language that they speak.
Yeah.
For mobile.
Thanks, Foo.
Yeah, I don't think
giving us the inside track.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I don't think it'll ever.
It's a private thing.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man. Happy 420 for those who celebrate. Go to foobarshow.com. We have a banner at the bottom. Click on our Grass Store banner. If it's your first time doing it, you'll get 30% off of your purchase. It's about 30% taxes in California if you're purchasing weed on a legal basis anyway. So you're pretty much just taking care of the taxes. But they have a good array of selections there. And like I said earlier, I bought that Lowell Smokes. It comes in a pack of 10, I believe. It's like little tiny joints, especially if you're just going to be smoking by yourself or someone else, but don't want to really, if you're doing other things, like I have plans to do an edible. I'm going to smoke some flower. I got some dabs going, and then I'm going to finish off the night with a couple of those little joints. I don't expect anybody to join me unless I have band rehearsal. But yeah, it's going to be a good night, man. It's going to be a good night. I may just have to work from home on Thursday.
I can't go in.
And the party may spill into Thursday.
And then Friday's right around the corner, Foo.
I mean,
and then you got Saturday. I mean, Foo, just take Wednesday off.
I'm just gonna take
the rest of the week off. Yeah, just take
I'll file for FMLA.
Say you have gout, Foo.
There you go.
No disability.
Yeah, they'll buy it. All right, well, man,
this guy in the office.
I just show up in crutches. It's not because I have gout. I'm just fucking high. Come on, Red.
I don't even know whose crutches these are.
Yeah,
I just found them in the street. Some poor guy's limping.
Yeah,
nowhere to go.
Well, that's gonna do it for the Joint Report. Everybody, stick around for Foobar Sports. We'll be right back.
Smoke weed every day.
Well, what's been going on in sports, man?
This week in sports. Bunch of nothing. Nah, Just kidding, Foo. We've had NBA playoffs actually started this past weekend.
Okay.
To kick it off, we started off with the new play-in tournament, which pretty much how the play-in tournament works is seeds 7 through 10 on Eastern and Western side. They get broken up into 2 brackets. So the 8 seed plays the 7 seed, and then the 9 seed plays the 10. And how it works out is the winner of the 7 and 8, whoever wins there automatically gets the 7 spot in the playoffs. So then they go up against number 2. So then now the remaining 2 teams, whoever wins between 9 and 10 would face the loser of 7 and 8 for the final 8th spot. Essentially, it's just a way to give the teams 7 through 10 a chance to still make it into the playoffs, because occasionally you see some really like good underdog teams that shouldn't be there, but it's like, dude, if they show up, they're there to fuck shit up. Like, it's not, they're gonna annoy it or piss off everyone else there. So we had actually some upsets. So the Pelicans actually beat the Clippers. So the Clippers didn't even technically make the playoffs. They only made the play-in. So they got knocked out.
Okay.
And the T-Wolves the T-Wolves knocked out, then knocked them out again because you had to play 2 games. So you had to play, the Clippers were the number 7 seed originally, and the Pelicans were the 9 and 10 spot. So the Pelicans played the Spurs, and then the T-Wolves played the Clippers. So the T-Wolves beat the Clippers, automatically got the 7 seed. And then so the Clippers then had to go play the Pelicans, who beat the Spurs previously. And then the Clippers still lost and just completely made it out of the playoffs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So I know, Foo. If we can't be in there, then no LA team deserves to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
No LA team.
Go back to San Diego.
Go back to San Diego. Go join the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
Machado,
of baseball, what's that?
Your boy Machado.
Oh God, I just saw him play today. They're playing the Braves, and they won. Every time I see Machado, I'm just like, I hate that guy.
He's so punchable, right? He just has a punchable face.
You could just walk up to him and punch him, and not feel bad. Just go on the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Where are we going drinking? Oh shit, that's Machado. Whapa. All right, so where are we having dinner?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just not gonna interfere with your day.
No, not at all. He's just gonna take it. Fucking bitch ass Machado.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Foo? Like, baseball's back, thank God, because it's been sorely missed. The Dodgers are just on a tear right now. They're 7-2 to start the season. Amazing start. There's been some controversy though, because Clayton Kershaw was pulled from 7 perfect innings the other day, and a lot of people were pissed off at Dave Roberts. Like, why are you pulling him? Just let him go.
Perfect game.
Well, Kershaw came in defense of his skipper and said that was the right call to pull me. Like, you can blame that on spring training. Meaning, like, dude, I was already getting gassed in the 7th inning, so I was gonna have to get pulled regardless. So I'm fine with him pulling me. It's like, it's still early in the season.
But he only had how many pitches? It wasn't even cracking 90, right? Like, it was.
He wasn't cracking 90, but remember, they had a truncated spring training.
Yeah.
So they didn't really, they only had 2 weeks of spring training, whereas normally they would have a few months because they normally start in early February. So they had to rush everything between March and opening day in April. They only had, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. So that's why you're going to see a lot of teams slowly or do a lot of bullpen games where they're going to have a lot of pitchers to kind of, that way no one goes over in pitch count. Because you've already seen some major injuries to some baseball players, like Steven DeGrom of the Mets. He's out for the year. He got hurt right into spring training, right before the season started, because he was going too hard. And so now he's out for the year. So it's you're going to see some injuries. So let's let everyone kind of work their way back. Because I think this Dodgers team has the opportunity to make it to the World Series.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited, dude. The fact that we're doing this DH thing now, the designated hitter, and I think for today's game that they played against the Reds, I think it was Justin Turner as DH. It's just so stacked. That bench is stacked.
Yeah, man. Like, and we don't have to worry about our pitcher being a weak spot. We don't have to worry about, pulling our pitcher because it's coming in the 9th spot. Now
Right.
It's like, dude, Cody Bellinger's in 9. It's like, what? And then you start all over again with Mookie Betts. Like, our lineup is just so stacked. Like you said, our bench is stacked, our bullpen stacked. Barring injuries, this team can definitely go all the way. And injuries is the key word because that's always been our Achilles heel. Especially when playoff time comes around.
And I guess when you look at it that way, you can't be that mad that Kershaw was pulled with, even though he had the potential of pitching a perfect game. It's so early in the season. You don't want to overwork that arm where it just becomes useless towards the end of the season.
Or tweak his back, because notoriously his back has always been his problem. It's like every year he misses time because of a back injury.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do anything to aggravate that. Let's use him, keep him as healthy and as good as possible for as long as possible. At least until the playoffs, dude. Like, even shut him down and give him a couple of nights off if you have to. Like, just so that way he's still good and he's warmed up.
Right.
But going back to the NBA, playoffs are alive and well, and they've been pretty good so far. The Pelicans just lost to the Suns today, but it was still a good matchup. You had the Nets versus the Celtics, and that one went down to the wire. Jason Tatum hit a game-winning buzzer shot at the end, so they beat the Celtics, or they beat the Nets. So the Nets are down. And then there's an interesting story between the Sixers and the Raptors series. One of the players, Matisse Thybulle, he is not allowed to travel to Toronto, where the Raptors play, for the away games, because this dumbass forgot to get the second round of the COVID vaccine. Not that he forgot that he's not vaccinated, is that he forgot to get the second round of vaccinations.
He's not fully vaccinated.
Yeah. So everyone, like, for the last couple of weeks, have just been like, bro, how do you only get one vaccine? Like, I mean, even if it's like you should have got the main vaccine, the single shot, if that's the case, but you got the one that required two. So what's going on here? And he's a pretty big piece defensively for them. So it's going to be interesting to see when they finally go to Toronto, if the tides turn or if it doesn't even bother or hurt them. But it's crazy to see that now COVID is still affecting these games and these teams.
Well, because a country like Canada, who takes it seriously, is demanding that everybody who's in their country have it.
Yeah.
Have that vaccine.
Goddamn America, man. We're too free, Foo. We're too free.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Sometimes it's not, Foo.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's not. If I was a Sixers fan, I'd be really pissed. I sneak into Matisse Thybulle's house and give him the vaccine.
So, like, is this gonna... Is he gonna get it now because of this? Or
no,
is it too late, or?
I don't know. I think it's too late.
But if he wants to play in the future in Canada, he's gonna have to get it, right?
I mean, Foo, he signed in Philadelphia, so he'll just have to miss the Canadian games. It's probably like 16 games a year.
Okay, that's a good little chunk.
No, well, 4 games in the regular season, and then potentially 7 games or 4 or 3 games in the playoffs if they meet them again next year. Yeah. So that would about 8 or 9 games roughly. Yeah, man. But you know what? It's all good, dog. It's all good because baseball is the only thing that we have to focus on in LA because our Lakers suck. It kind of feels back to like the time when we had Dwight Howard and Steve Nash and Kobe just got hurt.
Right.
It's just like you just feel despair and that they have no idea where they're going from here. It's like, what is happening? This is not my Lakers. And They can't blame it on Jim Buss because Jim Buss ain't there.
I don't know, man. It's just we need to rework that team because and we've had lulls in Laker history, and this is just one of them.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Fu? Speaking of the Lakers, there's two things to be on the lookout for. Entertainment wise, there is the HBO Max series Winning Time, which is actually really good. I think they are premiering episode 5 or 6 today. It's great series. John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss.
I love how it was filmed on film too, like that old school like film from the 80s. Yeah. They're using those cameras, the lighting, everything is just like that. And it really adds to the gravitas of whatever's happening in that show.
And the actors that they picked for each of these, like Jason Segel as Paul Westhead. Yeah. I forget this guy's name, but the one that plays Jerry West. You have what's his face, Adrian Brody as Pat Riley, which I'm just like, oh damn, that is so good. That fits so perfectly. Yeah, man, it's so good. I definitely think everyone should watch it. It doesn't focus on one season. As you can see from the first like few episodes, they do some time skips. Like they do go and I think because they're overall going to show the whole up until Magic announces he has AIDS, because that's what they kind of teased in the first episode. Yep. But yeah, it's on HBO Max, and then there's an Apple TV docu-series about Magic Johnson being produced and directed for Magic Johnson. So everyone should definitely look and watch that. I'm going to watch that as a staunch Lakers fan. Also, I mean, Apple TV's got some good stuff, man. They are actually also showing baseball games this year. So I actually watched the Minnesota Twins Dodgers game the other day on Apple TV. Yeah.
I think Amazon's getting into that now too, right? Where they're going to be showing live sports. Hulu has live sports now.
Hulu, I believe YouTube TV is going to start doing that. I think they already do that now.
They've been doing
since they have that TV subscription, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So
gotta pay for
it. Man, this is the summer of sports, and go out to some games. COVID's getting a little bit lighter, though we may get another wave. But doesn't mean you shouldn't go to some games now. Like,
enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. That's it for sports food.
All right, man. Well, I think we're just gonna finish this off with the music highlights. We'll be right back. Well, last week we had Dianthus on the show, and it didn't give us an opportunity to continue on with our carousel of music genres. But today we're going to continue that. And let's see here. Who's up first? Is this you, Steph? So you had hip hop, R&B, soul. So you picked what?
I picked, this was under the category jazz. I got some nice instrumental for you.
Okay.
From the artist, the Surefire Soul Ensemble.
Okay, and this is off of their album Step Down.
Yes.
The song is called Love Age. Check this out. Yeah, he's very diverse with his music. A lot of people want to put him in the same bubble as like this pop punk emergence that's happening because of Travis Barker and his group of clowns, and like Machine Gun Kelly and people who kind of revolve around that bubble of musicians, right? I mean, you've got Avril Lavigne coming out. You've got Maud's son in that same, and I think that's even her drummer.
They just got engaged.
And they just got engaged too. So you're going to be hearing a lot of them. But people want to pigeonhole YUNGBLUD, and he's done shows with all of these pop punk bands. He's opened up for them. I feel like he should be headlining those shows that he's opened up for them, because he's a much more superior artist. He's so diverse. And, you know, before I played the song, I said that he was this decade's Billy Idol. Do you hear that in this song in particular?
Immediately.
Yeah. You get, and I think it's a nice
dancing with. It's dancing with themselves, like dancing with themselves. Sort
of.
Yeah,
it's not
you get that feel from it,
but it's the same vibe, right? You get
it's not a carbon copy, but it's that same. I want to say not harmony or like, you know, the same rhythm. He has the same rhythm as that one. So yeah, you definitely get the Billie Eilish feel, or not Billie Eilish, Billy Idol feel.
Yeah, that post-punk kind of thing that happened. It's not like even in the late 80s. It wasn't the new wave. It wasn't the that techno pop, that syntho pop either. It was just kind of like you didn't know what to make of Billy Idol when he came out. At least, I mean, I wasn't even really alive back then. But, you know, reading into all these documentaries and literature that I've read about him and about that piece, that timepiece, it's kind of an anomaly. You know, he considered himself a punk artist, but he wasn't really there, considering there was actual punk artists out there that sounded nothing like him. He was more on the pop side of things. And I think people were treating him back then like people are treating Youngblood right now. They didn't know where to put him, because you also had post-punk artists like your Elvis Costellos and Graham Parker and other things like that sounded like a specific type of post-punk. But I think if you wanted to pigeonhole Billy Idol in that, you probably would be unsuccessful, because he kind of was all over the place in that genre. He was very alternative to his time, I think.
Dude, he was the rebel. He was the rebel of the rock age. Yeah. And I think that's what got a lot of people from different genres interested, you know, especially in the 80s, since they had so many shitty freaking genres and I'm sorry, diversity. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, it's nice when you can get people that bring that nostalgia back, but with a new like twist or like a new tone, like this guy.
Yeah, and you know, he's doing it up. He wears the makeup, he wears the crazy clothing, he spikes up his hair like this. He knows how to play it off, and he's a good singer, man. He's a good artist, good musician. He surrounds himself with great musicians, and he's networking with the right people. If you can open up for, you know, what Travis Barker's doing these days, that guy's taking over pop punk. And well, how do you feel about what he's doing to pop punk these days, man? Are you with it, or are you kind of cautiously optimistic? Where are you at with all that?
I love it, man, because I'm a huge fan of Travis Barker to begin with, or Travis Barker as a drummer. You know, I love his work and what he does, and I love the flavor he brings, because he doesn't just do it for this new post pop punk. He's done it on like rapper tracks. Yeah. Like he's done them with rappers, you know, like
Lil Wayne,
right? Lil Wayne, like Travis Barker is just that talented, where if just being involved, you can tell it adds a little something extra to whatever they're doing. Because I mean, dude, I gave zero fucks about Machine Gun Kelly for the longest, but just because Travis Barker was on a song with him, I was like, oh, all right, let me take a listen. I was like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. I like everything else going on behind Machine Gun Kelly's lyrics. That's better.
Speaking of, I don't know if you were aware of this, but maybe a week or so ago, Machine Gun Kelly and his band were on Howard Stern. And they decided, and you know, when you're on Howard Stern as a performer, he asks you to bring the band and play a couple songs. It's something normal that Howard Stern does on his show. And Machine Gun Kelly was on there, and he decided to play a cover. Would you believe that he ended up playing Aerials by System of a Down with his band?
Really? Now,
if you ask me if he pulled it off, I'm going to say no. You are going, it ruined my day. When I first it was so bad. It was very, very not well done. You can tell that Howard Stern probably didn't want
regretted.
regretted. Yeah, I mean, he was trying to play it off as like, hey, that was interesting. And it was interesting, but it was bad too. It was just not good. I mean,
it was interestingly bad.
Yeah, it was interestingly bad. That's probably the best way I can put it, because Serge Tankian and his voice, you can't duplicate it. You can try to cover it and try to make it your own, but that's not what he was trying to do here. And it was painful to watch and hear. I challenge you to check it out if you have a moment.
Oh, are you gonna play it? Or you
I'm not play it. No, fuck that. I'm not gonna do that to our listeners.
No, man. Fuck the listeners.
No, I'm good. But yeah, if you guys have a minute or two, I mean, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. Just like 30 seconds into the cover, it's bad. I didn't appreciate it one bit.
I will not look it up.
All right, nice. Well, I think that's did I lose the here we go, the record scratch. Oh, well, that's going to do it for the music highlights today. Now, before we sign off, Josh, I forgot to ask this in the intro, but were you recently on a Southwest flight, like at the beginning of April?
No.
No. Okay. Well, this I don't know. I don't know why I thought this was you, but there's this article online, and I'm just like, oh shit, was Josh? Did he go out of state or something? Because it says Southwest passenger arrested for masturbating 4 times during the flight.
Wow, 4 times, huh?
Yeah,
definitely wasn't me.
They let him do it 4 times.
A man on a Southwest Airlines flight faces federal charges after allegedly masturbating at least 4 times during the flight.
At least. Wow.
The Daily Beast reports that it happened on a flight from Seattle to Phoenix. So you didn't go to Seattle to Phoenix or anything? That wasn't you?
I did not, sir. I did not.
Okay. Well, the criminal complaint obtained by the site claimed that it happened on a Southwest flight 3814 on April 2nd. Antonio Sherrod McGarity is accused of masturbating 4 times in the seat next to a female passenger. That's not your alias, right? That's not like a
McGarity.
It sounds fake. McGarity. You know,
they're protecting his identity, foo. Leave him alone.
The woman took photos. When McGarity fell asleep, she told the flight crew what happened.
She took photos
when he was asleep. I mean, as a female, if something like this happened next to you, would you? I mean, what would you do? Or
I would.
Would you cause a scene, or would you wait because you didn't want this guy to retaliate? The guy you're sitting next to retaliate against?
No, if I saw that, I would immediately get up and say something. I'm not going to let it go on for 3 more times after that. Or take pictures. It's disgusting. No, I'm just going to get up and say something.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure she took pictures to be able to prove that, you know, he had been doing this throughout the flight. She turned the photos over to Phoenix police when the flight landed. The FBI interviewed him and says that he didn't think the female passenger was uncomfortable with him masturbating, and he thought it was kind of kinky. McGarity is facing charges related to lewd, indecent, or obscene acts. So, hey, I'm glad it's not you, Josh, because I'm like, oh shit, our buddy's in trouble, man. But all right, it seems like something I don't know.
I plead the 5th, foo. I plead the 5th.
Whatever, McGarity. McGarity, in my office now.
What, sir? I'm this close to catching him.
Anyway, all right, man. Well, next week, are we trying to get more guests on the show? We have nothing booked, but we should, right?
Yeah,
we should.
All right. Well, I have some connections with some bands in the local area.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
And you know, I don't think that our room is large enough, or I haven't given it the facelift it deserves to be able to host like a band. And the band that I'm thinking of, I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not sure that I can get them on so quickly. They're a band of 6 people. I would just rather Zoom with
3
them,
of us barely fit in this room.
Yeah. And then the occasional G baby. So that's already a big, you know, a cramped space.
Mm-hmm.
But
we need to get a better table.
Oh yeah, that's definitely in the works. But I just bought a mower, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, I'm selling a mower, everybody. Anybody? Josh, you're welcome to come check it out.
Yeah, I'll
before it goes on offer up. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for the show. Oh, did I close my? Oh, holy shit! What happened to GarageBand?
Are you fucking serious?
Well, that's not good. It's a good thing I'm recording this on Zoom. We're
Get the
recording this
fuck
on Zoom.
Out of here.
This is going to be an interesting thing. Anyway, no, the audio's fine. It's just going to sound. I apologize if it sounds weird.
Yeah.
But
it's fucking Foobar.
But
dude.
I grabbed the audio from. I'm grabbing the audio from Zoom. So if it sounds compressed, I apologize, everybody. I'm going to see what I can do to spruce it up. But this hasn't happened in a while. Anyway, well. Let's see here. Thank you all very much for listening into the Foobar Show. Remember to hit subscribe and be sure to rate, review, and tell a friend like a freaking champion. You can also listen in and get our swag at foobarshow.com. That's FOObarshow.com, and follow FOO Bar Show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Join in, drop us a line, and we'll fill it up like a couple of. I didn't even have this ready yet because it went away. For fuck's sake, man. For fuck's sake. All right. And we'll fill it up like a couple of food. And Josie.
And Josh.
And Steph.
Signing off saying...